Okay friends, a little more Peeps science for you today. So, for these experiments, you're gonna need just a couple of things. Some glasses. Doesn't matter what kind or size or shape, as long as you can fit your peep in it, and as long as you can see through, because you're gonna kind of get an idea of what might happen. And you're gonna need a few liquids. Today, I'm gonna use a clear soda. 7-Up, I believe is what we happened to have on hand, and water. But you can play around and use whatever you have. You might want to see what happens to our Peeps with vinegar, or you might want to see what happens to our Peeps with milk, or you might want to make a potion with baking soda and water and mix that together and then see what happens. Or you can use, if anybody's parents like bubbly water, like bubbly brand water, something like that, and see what happens to our Peeps, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do is pour a little water into one of my cups. Doesn't have to be all the way to the top. I'm just trying to get enough water in there to see what happens. And then I'm gonna take a Peep. Again, I'm using Christmassy Peeps, I know. And I'm gonna put it in the water. So the first thing that I notice is that it floats. And then the second thing that I notice is it seems like my Peep is staying the same, except the ink on my Peep is starting to rub off, which makes me wonder what would happen if my Peep wasn't white? What would happen if my Peep was yellow or purple? If you use a yellow or a purple or any other colored Peep in your water, I would love to know what happens, okay? The next material I'm gonna use is a clear soda. Now I'm using clear because A, it's just what we happened to have, and B, this way I can see the Peep while it's in the soda. So I'm gonna pour some in my cup. This has been in Mrs. Dawyer's pantry for a long time. So who knows, there's still a few bubbles in there. You can see them rise up. And do we remember what those bubbles are? It's the same thing we used when we made our popcorn dance in the classroom. Do you remember? Carbon dioxide bubbles. And they rise up to the top of the glass because they weigh less than the water that they're in. Now this particular water is like a sugar water because soda is made with sugar and water, and then carbon dioxide is pushed into the water to make it all bubbly. And that's why it feels bubbly on your tongue if you've ever tasted it, and why if you drink it, sometimes it can make your tummy hurt because all those carbon dioxide bubbles pop and then they get bigger. So I'm gonna take another Peep here and I'm gonna see what happens to my Peep in the soda. So it still floats. Oh, but a lot of those bubbles are coming up around my Peep. I wonder what will happen to my Peep in the soda if I left it there for an hour. I mean, if I had dinner right now and just left my Peep right here, and then I came back to look at it after dinner, I wonder if it would look any different. The Peep in my water appears to be getting a little bigger and a little softer. When I touch the edges, it doesn't feel rough anymore like it did when I first pulled it out of the package. I wonder what will happen to it if I leave it for an hour or longer. If I went to go play for a while and when I came back, took a look to see, I wonder if it would be bigger or smaller or if it changed colors. I have a lot of hypotheses to make, and so do you. So I want to see what happens to your Peeps if you happen to have them, or marshmallows. You can use plain marshmallows here, little bitty ones or really big ones, any of the above, whatever you might have on hand. And different liquids. And let me